Yo, watching me Screaming Fish here, people, and today, I'm doing something a little crazy. I'm doing a versus video. I know this is more of a, you guys are probably thinking it's more of a comparison video, seeing as how this video is called Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice versus Captain America Civil War, and, it's basically, like, comparing them both, seeing which does better, which one does better on what thing than the other, and so without further ado, let's get into it because I've written a huge script for this, and let's do this. So, number one, the plot. The plot for Batman v Superman is pretty simple, I'll admit. The movie kicks off nearly 2 years since Superman's colossal battle with Zod, which devastated the city of Metropolis. The loss of life and collateral damage left many feeling angry and helpless, including crime-fighting billionaire Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, who is convinced that Superman is now a threat to humanity and embarks on a personal vendetta to end his reign on Earth, while the cunning Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg, launches his own crusade against the Man of Steel, and so on. While I like the idea, the plot doesn't take shape the way I thought it would. Aside from the destruction that was caused in the first movie, Batman doesn't have any actual reason for hating Superman, other than thinking he's too dangerous to be alive, which felt very cliche and been there, done that. In fact, a lot of the plot felt been there, done that. For example, our main hero giving his life for the planet he loves, evil villains manipulating our heroes, and damsels in distress that are only there to be damsels in distress. It all just got really cliche in the end, and felt like I'd seen it in different movies, which I have a lot. The plot for Captain America Civil War, on the other hand, is a lot more original and well written. When political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability when the actions of the Avengers lead to collateral damage, the new status quo deeply divides the members of the team. Captain America believes superheroes should remain free to defend humanity without government interference, which I root for, in my opinion, and Iron Man sharply disagrees with this and supports oversight. As the debate escalates into an all-out feud, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, and even Spider-Man are forced to pick a side as the feud escalates into an all-out war. If you go back 20 years or so, a movie like this, with a story like this, wouldn't have even existed. The writers of this movie had the guts to explore thought-provoking themes, and instead of having the usual alien monster shows up and big city destroying finale, this movie does the complete opposite and doesn't have a big monster or powerful villain as the main villain, but more like a human villain, and goes for a more hero versus hero plot, and has a much smaller but extremely emotional and phenomenal finale. It's also pretty amazing how you could be supporting Team Iron Man but also feel sorry for Team Cap, or the other way around. So yeah, the clear winner for round one, the plot, is Captain America Civil War. The plot just feels a lot more original, and so on. So round number two, characters. While Batman v Superman has plot issues, the movie also gave us what is possibly the best on-screen version of Batman. Batman was developed so well in this movie that it felt like I was watching the Batman we all know and love from the comics. And the suit, oh my god, the suit was just amazing, and Jeremy Irons as Alfred was fantastic. Both Affleck and Irons nailed their characters perfectly. However, the same can't really be said for pretty much everyone else in the movie. Henry Cavill gives an extremely boring performance as Superman. Not just in the way Superman is written, but the way he looks in almost every scene. He just has a straight, bored face, which made him quite unlikable. Gal Gadot was fantastic as Wonder Woman, but her entrance into the movie is extremely confusing. And as much as I love her performance, she's really only in the movie to set up the Justice League movie, which annoyed me intensely because Wonder Woman is a character that takes time to develop, but they shoehorned her in anyway, and she really didn't need to be in this movie, if I'm honest with myself. And Lex Luthor, this guy made Jar Jar seem bearable. And that's really saying something. Jesse Eisenberg was so over the top that he went from villainous to hilarious and from there to just downright annoying. I mean, someone should have gone to him and said, turn it down a little, will you? You're going too over the top. Seriously, just tone it down, please. Captain America Civil War, in my opinion, has some really great performances. Obviously, Chris Evans is amazing as Captain America, and I think Robert Downey Jr. gives the best. But I think Robert Downey Jr. gives the best performance as Tony Stark / Iron Man since the first Iron Man movie. They finally made Tony Stark interesting again, which is great, seeing as how all the past films he's been in after Iron Man, including the Avengers, had failed at this. But this movie nails it head on. I must say that Chadwick Boseman is phenomenal as Black Panther. He is such a dark and brooding character, and it's just amazing how they managed to make the suit look cool and original instead of a carbon copy of Batman. And as dull a character as Hawkeye is, Jeremy Renner just brings a great sense of charm to the character that just makes him so likable in the movie. Paul Rudd also makes his welcome return as Ant-Man, and I personally think that Ant-Man is one of the main highlights of this movie. He's handled so well in this movie, even better than he was in his own movie, and he made me laugh every time he was on screen. Falcon, Bucky Barnes, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, Vision, and War Machine are all great in this movie, but I can't deny that it was Tom Holland's iconic entrance as Spider-Man that just stole the show for me. I found myself smiling every time he was on screen. He's funny, he's interesting, and is by far the best on-screen version of Spider-Man I've ever seen in my life. I also have to admit that my favorite scene in the movie was when Spider-Man was introduced as Peter Parker with Tony Stark in the scene as well. The scene was so well was acted so well with brilliant and Downey and Holland just nailed the scene. Just absolutely nailed the scene, and I also think it's the best introduction to Spider-Man we've ever had on screen, even if we didn't even see the origin story for the 6 billion time already. While Baron Zemo is a little more than a forgettable villain, he is, in my opinion, more menacing and more convincing villain than Lex Luthor was in Batman vs. Superman. So obviously, once again, the winner is Captain America Civil War. So round 3, special effects. Batman vs. Superman is undeniably visually stunning. No superhero film has ever looked this good since Watchmen. Even the most obvious CGI effects seem real. I'll admit the CGI can be overused sometimes, but nonetheless, there was not one single effect in the movie that I thought looked like poop. Even Doomsday, as unnecessary as he was, looked real. Zack Snyder may sometimes fail when it comes to storytelling. But every time, he never fails when it comes to visual effects. Captain America Civil War also has amazing effects. For example, Scarlet Witch's magic, Iron Man flying everywhere, and whenever Captain America throws his shield. I think some of the best effects were Spider-Man's web slinging. It also looked amazing and very comic book accurate. And whenever there was an action sequence that needed CGI, the CGI was perfect. I think the best of the CGI came not only in the finale, but when Ant-Man turns into Giant Man. The scene blew me away, and I was not expecting it at all. It was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen in a movie. And that scene where Ant-Man is riding Hawkeye's arrow was particularly amazing. However, there were some shots in Civil War where the CGI just looked unfinished. For example, there was one shot of Iron Man that just looked fake and unfinished. What I'm saying is that when it comes to effects in Civil War, some are better than others, and the film isn't as visually perfect as Batman vs. Superman, which isn't a bad thing because Civil War has great visuals and effects. I just prefer the effects in BVS. So the winner for this round is Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. So round 4, action. The action in Batman vs. Superman, I must admit, was very entertaining. There are some brilliantly choreographed and edited. For example, the warehouse sequence is one of the best action sequences in a comic book movie I've ever seen. Taking great inspiration from the Arkham games, with Batman hanging people by the legs from the roof, hitting them with batarangs and leaping from one baddie to another was just fantastic to watch. I also enjoyed the Batmobile action sequence as non-Batman as it felt, and seeing this and the scene where the two heroes actually fight was actually pretty cool. It's not the coolest thing I'd ever seen, but it was fun to watch. It was also awesome watching Batman hit Superman with kryptonite grenades and swinging him round and round like a yo-yo, and followed by Superman literally smashing Batman through a wall and pushing him 10 feet away from him. However, the actual fight between the two heroes is surprisingly short for a movie called Batman vs. Superman, and the build-up to the fight felt very cheap and lazy, with the fight ending quite anticlimactically when Batman has an emotional breakdown because Superman's mom is called Martha, which is what his mom was called. Seriously, Batman, seriously, your mom isn't the only Martha in the movie or the world. I also found some of the action to be quite inconsistent at times, as Batman can apparently smash through a brick wall. I also didn't like how Batman killed people in this movie. Yes, it's debatable in some scenes whether or not he killed someone or not, but in other scenes it's very obvious that he blew someone up. What happened to the moral code that he had about killing people? Seriously, I also find it kind of funny how Batman v Superman references the destruction caused in Man of Steel, like it's saying, oh, we're gonna fix this problem, only to have even more destruction in the finale than everything that happened in Man of Steel. Wow! Captain America Civil War's action is phenomenal, complete with practical stunts and very well choreographed hand-to-hand combat scenes. In fact, the hand-to-hand combat aspect of the movie is one of the things that makes this movie so unique compared to most comic book movies. I just can't get enough of Captain America throwing a shield all over the place, Falcon flying everywhere, and of course Spider-Man web-slinging and Ant-Man going giant. But I'm going to say this for once, and I'm probably going to say this, keep on saying this for the next 5 years straight. Nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, can be that airport action sequence. The airport action sequence is one of the best action sequences ever put together, not just in superhero movies, but movies in general. The whole action scene is just so brilliantly made that it's really hard not to enjoy. It's also packed with tons of humor, and Spider-Man's inclusion in the scene is just brilliant, and not to mention Ant-Man going giant, as I've said 3 times already. You also really feel the emotion in the sequence, because everyone in the scene, with the exception of 3 of them, were lifelong buddies till the end, and now they have to fight each other. And you really feel the emotional weight that's been thrust upon them. I do think the most emotional scene in the movie is the Iron Man vs. Captain America fight scene, which, like the airport sequence, is amazing, because this is the scene that really shows that Tony Stark is not the man we all thought he was, and it also shows that Captain America will do anything to protect his friend from harm's way, even if it means fighting his own friends. It's also phenomenally choreographed and with brilliant hand-to-hand combat. I also think the scene has a better build-up, because it slowly builds up and builds up with every gut-wrenching moment, with every scene, until whammo, it's right in your face. So, winner is obviously Captain America Civil War. So, conclusion. Batman v Superman may be visually stunning with some great action sequences. It's hard not to ignore its overstuffed and convoluted script that pretty much tears the whole experience down. And word of advice, don't call it Batman v Superman if it's not about Batman vs. Superman, seriously. Story and character-wise, Captain America Civil War is the better film for being far more original and having the guts to tackle thought-provoking themes and so on. And yeah, you can't really beat that airport action sequence unless you're George Miller. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Yes, Captain America Civil War is the better movie. I will continue these videos if you like them. Please don't forget to share, subscribe, like, and follow me on Facebook. I will indeed see you guys later, and bye.